Hello, everyone. I am here with Bozo Bunch's very own Dropleto.
Hi.
We are getting into our second week of Launchpad interviews, right? And this first Launchpad, as many of you guys may have watched, was quite a banger showing, and we had so many great teams qualify, but there's still so many teams left to qualify, right? And with 6 spots on the line, there are a lot of dangerous matchups that could occur. Now, with that in mind, Dropleto, I want to throw this over to you. Which 6 teams do you think will make it through Launchpad 2?
Well, to get the obvious one out of the way, return to form. Three absolute beasts of a players on the team. We've got Leo Leon, who's been a Nassau mainstay for I think the entire time Nassau's been running. Hook Resets, who did have a break last season, although I've been playing against him a lot. Hey, he's back in form. That's what the name is for. Lots of respect on that guy. Unfortunately for him, Era might be doomed to never be pickable in pro play again, but hey, it's okay. We'll survive. But last but not least, I'd like to throw out Moffin Koei, the best goalie in this launchpad. Uh, that guy has some insane mechanics. Like I don't, he saves some things that don't look possible. His character picks could be kind of weird. With his main three being Rasmus, Kazan, and Finney. But he's just so good at holding it down, and he's gotten a lot better at walking up to making his presence known. So that team is going to be extremely hard. I don't ever see them to ever losing any point, or not point, but they're not going to drop a game. Then probably another obvious one, Quest Esports, now featuring Hamster Quest, of course, with Zoro in the box, and I think Wallaby, but I'm pretty sure it's going to
Correct.
be it's Wallaby for this weekend.
I believe so.
Okay, hey, even if it was Vega playing, still a beast of a team. All three of their players I think they've all, in my opinion, they've all proven themselves to be able to play at the national level. There are some consistency issues with some of them, but if they've been grinding it out, I think all of them have a lot of potential to just like become the super consistent players that they were meant to be and take their national spot. And then after those two teams, there's a lot more like room for discussion on who you think is gonna make it. Uh, one team that didn't make it from the last launchpad that I like to shout out: Lions Eat Bears. I know they haven't really been scrimming like at all, really, at least before this launchpad, but this time they're ready and raring to go. Lol Lamau XD, this guy's my goat, placed fourth at the New York LAN, has had one of like the biggest like quick improvement spurts that I've ever really seen from a player. Like I don't talk about it much anymore, but like a while ago he was barely like nasty level, and then one day it just kind of clicked in his head, and I think he's definitely a nasty level brawler. Vens, also a very respectable midfielder, has had some great wins, and I believe NASA. And I think he and Lolamau are two players that have a lot of potential to work together. And then one of my favorite players, John Fortnite, who may not have as many like what's the word league performances as the other players. This guy's popped out to every Lando as an animal, played like a beast in all of them, and I think that's good enough for this team to definitely make it out through this launchpad. Possible a lot better than last time at least. Then I want to shout out the E-Daters, another team that I did not expect to not make it last time. However, hey, sometimes you just need their run back, and that's what these guys are getting. Fwop has been getting really good at Brawler in his position. I believe it's not Vixie playing, right? Vlad and Color Craze?
I'm pretty sure it will be Vixie playing this week.
Okay. Regardless, I still think Vixie's a beast as well, so no matter what happens, I see this team making it through still. And then two teams that definitely or I have a lot more like mystery or like questions around them. I think Cyberswipe with Assertive, Expo Chan, and Zoe the Witch. I think this team can really just. I think they have potential to kind of like take games off of any team here. Assertive's been getting really, really consistent in the box, and I want to shout out Expo Chan, who plays name off a lot. I kind of thought of them as a solo queue lobster for like a really long time, but I've been getting so many games of them with their name off, and they're just kind of playing like a beast. And I don't really check names, but, like, I'll just see them talk at, like, Costco, and I'm like, "Oh, this is Expo." That's it, I come didn't know they got that dog in them. And Zoe the Witch, who, unfortunately, I don't have that much to say about. My bad. I don't run into each other in solo. If I don't run into you in solo queue, I don't have that much to say about you, unfortunately. Womp womp. And the last team I think that's gonna make it through, the Time Thieves, which by the way, banger name. We've got Julak, who's been getting really good at brawler recent. Not my bad, not brawler, midfielder recently. Similar to Expo, I used to think of them like as a solo queue lobster. I think of it as that's for a lot of players. So like my bad. But Julak's been impressing me a lot more recently. Like his haste midfielders are beginning like really annoying to play against, which is a good thing. If you're annoying to play against, it means I think you're playing well, or at the very least, you're denying me from winning. Then Nikki Millinen, kind of a beast at the brawler. The Juliet's kind of crazy. I don't get to play with them really at all because I'm a solo queue brawler. I can't play in midfield. But when I was watching them in Nasty, they were really outperforming how I thought they'd be doing. And then the last player I want to shout out, my goat, Spartan. I think this guy is insane at goalie. This guy's been supporting Team Arc for the longest time. He's been smurfing in our Omega pools for us because he doesn't want to play ranked. And then when I played with him in the draft tournament a bit ago, I forgot the name of it, but this guy is so lockdown beast. Okay, when I'm on the Dubu or Atlas, nothing's getting through him, or the Mako as well. Yeah, those are the 6 teams I think couldn't make it through.
Yeah, so we've already talked about, I guess, one player, right, in Spartan that you've just mentioned right now. But kind of taking these teams and breaking them apart a little, any players, either on these teams or any of the teams you didn't mention, that you think are kind of standout and should be watched specifically.
Yeah, so just starting with Spartan, I'll just like really go over him. This guy's his lockdown goalies are insane. I don't really know about how well he can play the ranged goalies, but we've seen from players like Barcode that you do not need to play ranged goalie. If you can hold it down and your teammates have good enough offensive pressure, that's all you really need to make it through the game. I also mentioned Expo Chan, who I'll be honest, I don't know if they've have a second pick. Whenever I'm playing solo queue, they're on the Amy, and they've gotten really good at piloting that character. So if they can ever go through a draft where they can get their Amy, it should be a stomp. But I'm excited to see if they have any strong secondary picks up their sleeve. And then 2 players that I didn't mention earlier, will be Mudflap and I. I'll start with Mudflap first. This guy is kind of insane at Brawler. All I'm saying is that he kind of plays like me, which I'm very happy to see all the time. But he's super good at just like sitting on the enemy goalie and converting whatever core like he gets. Just hitting the goalie, making their life miserable, which is the best way to play Brawler. And then and then again, who I mentioned, I as an AYE with a little smiley face, not my midfielder, is also really impressed me, in solo queue specifically. Whenever I get him on my team, he just impresses me a little bit more every time he'll do a play, I was like, damn, that's pretty good. And it's like he's never disappointed me okay, that's a lie. Sometimes he has a little bit of misclears when he's playing defense, but on offense, I think this guy is insane. He's super good at helping me convert and like stands behind me and help procures for me, and that's all you need. Beast.
Yeah, sure. He might be an absolute beast coming into this launchpad as well, right? Now, bringing us back to the teams as a whole, right? Are there any teams that you think have good upset potential?
Okay, so I think Time Thieves, I would have had I don't know if I should include them because I had them at sixth or like the sixth best team.
You can.
But I think, yeah, I'm gonna include them anyways. I think those 3 can take games off of any of the people above them. Like Spartan, impossible to ban out. Ban the Dubu, just picks Alice. Ban Alice, just picks Mako. I mean, I love melee goalies. Let's go. And then Nikki Berlin has a super high conversion rate, I think. And then Julak, who's been getting really good at the haste midfielders, should really be able to enable Nikki Berlin. And they should be able to like have super scary offense, and they don't have to worry about the defense because they've got my goat Spartan in the box. Then another team I want to shout out is Meow Meow Magic. I think Dave and Z Yoshi Yoshi, they're all right. Nothing super that I'm never super that impressed with them, but they don't really underperform from what I've seen. But Just Logan 2 is kind of insane. He's one of the best midfielders in this launch pad. I'd put him at honestly, I'd put him at 2, I think. But there should be I think there's a lot of games where if he can like just really gap the enemy midfielder, they could just like win off that alone. The enemy team won't have any court control. But the last team I want to shout out is Polar Vortex. I really like I really like Elo Tourist. I do not like playing against Name Chaotic ever because he's super good at just like shutting down goalies that don't know how to play against him. This isn't just like his Kazan, but the entire way that he plays is very like it's very interesting. It can make a lot of goalies just kind of crumble to how he like how he scores on them, mainly on the of course on the Kazan where he can get kind of do it whenever because of how many abilities Kazan has, but he's really good at doing it on the Rasmus and Julie as well. And as much as I hate playing against him because I hate Kazan, I'll put a little bit of respect on his name. If the enemy goalie isn't ready to play against him, I think that team can really Polar Cortex can take basically any game that the goalie's not ready.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I guess we can kind of take a little bit of a step away from the players and teams that are coming into Launchpad and maybe just look at the characters as a whole, right? Any characters you think that are must picks or must bans in with the current meta and map pool?
I think this has already been said by everyone in the interview, but Asher, yippee!
Ooh,
This character is so stupid right now. In Brawler, she's without a doubt the best brawler in the game right now. She does so much damage. She kill range is insane. No character is better just sitting on the goalie and making their life miserable, and think she can convert off anything because of that. And she's really hard to kill on top of that. Like a character like X, I think has a really it's really easy to just shoot him, but people underestimate how much sustain like how hard it is to kill Asher through her passive secondary. And then also, I have to point out she's a very strong flex pick because she's not. I don't think she's top one goalie, but she's definitely a top tier goalie at the very least. Making her if but the goalie and the brawler could play it. She's easily the most valuable flex pick in the game right now. But I would like to shout out Amy. I don't think this character's ever been weak. I think people should really not sleep on this character. She's never been seen as like off meta, but no one ever really just like seems to think about it. I think everyone just pick her goalie or midfield. Either way, she's gonna be broken. I hate this character. Just does whatever she wants.
yeah. And I kind of want to peer into your mind a little bit more. After Asher, how would you rank the brawlers?
How would I rank the brawlers? I think it's the one and two are pretty obvious. Okay, I'm about to get flamed for this, but Asher is the best brawler, then Rasmus. I think it's a bit closer than people might think. I don't think Asher's pretty broken, but so is Rasmus. That character can kind of convert anything that's given to him, and if he gets size, the game's kind of over. Third, I would put. Okay, I don't want to talk about this that much, but I just want to say third is Zentaro, then Kazan, then X. Yeah, that's right. X isn't even in the top four. This character is
Whoa.
so bad. Like Jesus Christ, all you do is shoot him and the game's over. And there's only reverbs in the pool, by the way. No stagger left for him. Terrible character, honestly. Jesus Christ. Oh, and then I guess Juliet. She's like tied with X. She's okay.
Wow. What a breakdown. Um yeah, no, Asher, Imi, both very strong picks. Any thoughts on any of the speed midfielders, like Now and Kai?
Those two are still very strong. I think damage is generally a bit weaker this patch. So of course, haste is going to be stronger. I still put Amy above them just because of how good that character is, regardless of whether or not she needs to do damage. But now, still broken. Her secondary, even though it got its heavy hit removed recently, broken. The cooldown got hit by three. It's like a 9 second secondary, by the way. You know how short that is? You can count to 9 seconds on two hands.
Whoa.
That's right. Then yeah, other haste midfielders like Kai, still very good. Even I think people sleep on Kai in the damage comp a little bit because you don't need to like go overboard in damage. Once someone's staggered, you don't need any more damage. But that's where Kai comes in. He can just run up to them, hit the barrage button, pew 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 pew, and boom, they're dead. One of the easiest kill confirms in the game.
Yeah, for
And then
sure.
last haste midfielder that I can remember, Era. Let's don't pick
Oh,
her. If you have the best X in the world on your team, don't pick her. It's a trap. You're gonna lose that game of solo queue. Don't do it. Terrible.
Yeah, that's fair. Era is a little weak right now. But yeah, speaking of Era being kind of one of the picks that might be a little off meta, any off meta picks that you're really looking at, and any players in particular that you think will be likely to pilot them?
Okay, I'm gonna get the one out of the way because I don't know if anyone actually plays them. I think Rasmus goalie, people still sleep on a lot. I think we want to value him as a flex pick, as we talked about for Asher earlier. Extremely strong in the brawler position. You can pick him up early, and then if the enemy brawler picks a character that I think has a bad matchup into Rasmus, like X, I think Asher loses pretty hard. Or not pretty hard. She has a better time. X loses miserably, but Asher doesn't have a great time against Rasmus goalie. If I lose two characters pick, you just move the Rasmus into the brawler position, you pick someone else. And I think it's really strong. He does a lot of damage. He fills the kill confirm role that Kai would. So whenever someone's staggered, you just hook them, hit your primary button, or maybe they're just already dead from just the hook. Because he gets like what, 30 power from pauldrons? Kind of broken. And then one more character. This one not as strong as a flex pick, but I think people have been sleeping on Juno very hard recently. This character throws so many creations on the field. It's super hard to get around all of them. Her cooldowns are very low, and even though her damage isn't that high, it's really hard to kill her because she has the highest base stagger out of any midfielder. She's got Blobbo Bounce, and she can go invincible and then teleport herself somewhere else. And her primary is actually really good at like getting people off her because it has a pretty hard hit. And then, of course, it's a blob in the way, so you just can't walk towards her immediately. Super hard character to kill. I think the two main people I see playing Juno would be the Juno player extraordinaire himself, Sphinx. I didn't mention him earlier, but I don't see him ever getting Juno, as he's probably going to be banned. Juno's going to be banned every game against him. But Zack Smack is someone in the one of the midfielders that I think actually has a really good Juno. I don't know if he plays it as much anymore, but I played it with him a couple of times at in-houses, and I was very impressed with it.
Yeah, for sure. Now, with regards to Sphinx, it might change because if I recall correctly, it'll actually be Jules Excel playing instead of Mudflap during this launchpad because Mudflap isn't able to
Oh.
make it. Does that really change things for you?
If I remember correctly, I think Jules is a Juliet one trick. That's right. Sphinx might get his Juno. Let's
I believe it's
go.
Kazan, but yeah,
Uh,
basically.
it's the same thing. It's a one trick name, if you know what I mean.
Right.
But yeah,
Well,
hey, Sphinx can get Juno. That means the enemy team made a blunder in the draft. That's all I'm saying.
oh yeah. Well, with that in mind, I think there is one more thing I'd like to ask of you. Is there any message or anything you want to say to the Launchpad teams that are going to be competing in this Launchpad?
Hey, there's a lot of teams. This is kind of like their first time playing together. It might be the first time playing together. It might be sometimes some of them their first tournament. Just don't let it get on your nerves. You're here to play, and you're here. Okay, let's be honest. You're here to win, but don't let your nerves get to you because that's awful. Yeah, I don't have that much to say. It's kind of just something that comes with time. But if you gotta boss up. That's what you're gonna do. That's right. Just boss up, and any team that can do that will win instantly. I won't drop a single set.
Oh yeah, you heard it here, guys. Bozo Bunch's Dropleto is telling you to boss up, and
That's
that's
right.
what you got to
It could
do.
it could be you. You could be the one bossing up on the midfield or brawler or goalie. Any of the roles, just thug it out. Be a boss like you were meant to be.
Oh yeah. Well, with that in mind, that's really all we have for today. Thank you, Dropleto, once again for coming on. It's a
No
pleasure having
problem. It was
you.
my pleasure.
Well, I guess with that, see you guys at Launchpad. Don't go anywhere. Bye.
Bye.